Hello, my name is James Sederberg, and I am a CPA here at Elevation Tax, and I want to thank you for choosing us to prepare your tax returns this year. So I want to spend the next few minutes going over the S Corporation Tax Organizer, and the purpose of this organizer is to not only help us organize all of your tax information, but I think you'll see it also will help you organize your information and tax documents on your end. This will allow us to prepare your return in the most efficient and timely manner. So Section 1 asks for some basic information concerning your business, such as the name, EIN, and address, as well as if the S election has been made on the entity. Section 2 requests information on the shareholders of the corporation. If there are more than 2 shareholders, additional detail regarding these shareholders should be attached to the organizer when sending. And for each additional shareholder, you'll want to complete the same information as you see here. Section 3 asks some basic information or asks some basic questions about the accounting methods and activity of the business. The last questions of Section 3 ask if we prepared your bookkeeping for the tax year. If yes, you can skip the rest of the organizer, but you also may skip sections 4 through 8 if you're interested in having us prepare the financials for you for the tax year. So if you answer yes on this last question here, we will make sure we get in contact with you to discuss that. If you answer no to both of these questions, you'll need to complete the rest of the organizer. So Section 4 is where you will report the startup and organizational costs of the business. These are costs that were incurred before business operations began. So make sure you read this paragraph here for more information, and then list all the startup and organizational costs here. Section 5 is where you'll indicate the day your business began operations. The date of first sale is often used because it is a conservative option. Other dates can be used as well. For whatever you decide to do, you'll want to make sure you keep documentation to support your chosen date. Keep in mind that merely registering your business as a corporation does not necessarily mean operations have begun. So I often like to think as an example that a retail store has begun operations when it finally opens its doors to its customers. So the date you choose should be reflective of this example. So if your business is still in the startup phase at the end of the tax year, check this box or this circle right here. A return will still be prepared for you, but no expenses are going to be reported on the return. So don't worry about that. That's normal. So these expenses will just simply roll forward and be included on next year's return, assuming operations have begun that year. So Section 6 is where you report the income and expenses of the business that occurred after operations have started. So if you listed any expenses in Section 4, be sure not to duplicate those same expenses here in Section 6. So Section 7 is if you have any inventory to report. So inventory is products that you've purchased or created with the intention of reselling it to a customer. So if this is the business's first year of operations, the beginning amount will more than likely be zero. If this is the business's second or later year, the beginning inventory should equal the ending inventory balance from the prior year. Section 8 is where you report assets that have been placed into service by the business. So assets are property that has a long useful life that is not intended for sale during the normal course of business. So there can be any number of available assets you can put down here, but the most common ones that we see here are things like computers or computer equipment, printers, scanners, and office furniture. So if you had any assets purchased, only include that information here, and again, do not include that on Section 6 where you report the ordinary expenses of the business. And when filling out a field for an asset, be sure to complete all fields on that same line. So the final part of the organizer contains the additional notes section. So we understand that the organizer is not all inclusive, and there may be some items that are pertinent to your tax situation that is not asked about in the organizer. So this is a section where you can record those situations, amounts, or other figures. And then once the organizer has been completed, be sure to review your entries for accuracy, as we will be using this information and figures to complete your business tax return. So if everything is accurate, please submit to us the completed organizer, as well as any other additional documents you feel pertain to the taxes of the business. One example of that would be like a Form 1099. So feel free to either fax, email, or upload all of the documentation to us once it's complete. Thank you.